Jambo. Today, we look at Trustees Liability Insurance Policy. Just like D&O policies we looked at earlier, Trustees Liability Policy seeks to protect the office holders against legal liability brought against them by shareholders, beneficiaries, and members of the public. The difference is the roles, responsibilities, and legal constitution of these office bearers. Who are trustees? Trustees are individuals or entities who are appointed or elected to oversee and manage assets or funds on behalf of others. They have a legal responsibility, known as a fiduciary duty, to act in the best interests of the individuals or organizations they represent. Trustees can be appointed in a variety of contexts, including 1. Trusts. In the context of a trust, a trustee is appointed to manage the assets of the trust and ensure that they are distributed in accordance with the terms of the trust document. 2. Nonprofit organizations. Nonprofit organizations, such as charities or educational institutions, often have a board of trustees responsible for overseeing the organization's management and operations. 3. Business corporations. Business corporations may have a board of directors or trustees responsible for overseeing the company's management and operations. 4. Pension funds. Pension funds are managed by trustees who are responsible for investing the fund's assets and ensuring that the pension fund is financially sound. With the above explanation, we can agree that trustees do have responsibilities that can easily render them liable for the outcome of their decisions and actions when undertaking these responsibilities, hence the need for trustees' liability insurance cover. What is trustees' liability insurance policy? A trustees' liability insurance policy is a type of insurance policy designed to protect trustees of a company or organization from financial loss in the event of a claim or lawsuit. Trustees have a fiduciary duty to act in the best interests of their organization and its beneficiaries. However, if they make a mistake or act negligently, they can be held personally liable for any resulting damages. A trustee's liability insurance policy typically covers legal defense costs, settlements, or judgments resulting from claims related to breach of fiduciary duty, errors and omissions, mismanagement of funds, and other related issues. It is important for trustees to consider purchasing this type of insurance as it can help protect their personal assets and reduce the financial risk associated with serving in a trustee capacity. It is also important to carefully review the policy to understand what is covered and any limitations or exclusions that may apply. Who can purchase trustees' liability insurance? Trustees' liability insurance can be purchased by individuals or entities who serve as trustees of a company, organization, or trust. This includes corporate boards, charitable organizations, pension funds, and other types of entities where individuals serve as trustees. The policy can be purchased by the trustees themselves, the organization they represent, or the employer who has appointed them as trustees. It is important to note that the coverage provided by the policy typically applies to the individual trustees, rather than the organization as a whole. The specific eligibility requirements and coverage options for trustees' liability insurance may vary between insurance providers, so it is recommended to research and compare policies to find the one that best fits the needs of the trustees and the organization they represent. Organizations who can purchase trustees' liability insurance. Trustees' liability insurance is typically purchased by a wide range of organizations that have a board of trustees, including but not limited to 1. Charitable organizations. Nonprofit organizations such as foundations, religious organizations, and educational institutions often have a board of trustees responsible for overseeing the organization's activities. 2. Business corporations. Business corporations may have a board of directors or trustees responsible for overseeing the company's management and operations. 3. Pension funds. Pension funds are managed by trustees who are responsible for investing the fund's assets and ensuring that the pension fund is financially sound. 4. Government entities. Some government entities, such as public pension funds, may have trustees responsible for overseeing the management of government programs and assets. 5. Trusts. Trusts, whether created for estate planning purposes or to manage assets for a beneficiary, may have trustees responsible for overseeing the trust's management and administration. These are just a few examples of the types of organizations that may purchase trustees' liability insurance. It is important to note that the specific eligibility requirements and coverage options may vary between insurance providers, so it is important to carefully review policies to find one that fits the needs of the organization and its trustees. Process of setting up trustees' liability insurance policy. The process of setting up a trustees' liability insurance policy may vary depending on the insurance provider and the specific needs of the organization. However, here are some general steps that are typically involved in the process. 1. Assess the organization's needs. The first step in setting up a trustees' liability insurance policy is to assess the organization's needs. This includes identifying the risks associated with the organization's operations and determining the appropriate level of coverage needed. 2. Shop around for insurance providers. Once the organization's needs are identified, it's important to shop around for insurance providers that offer trustees' liability insurance. This can involve obtaining quotes and comparing coverage options from different providers. 3. Review policy options. Once potential insurance providers are identified, it's important to carefully review the policy options to ensure that they meet the needs of the organization. This includes reviewing the coverage limits, exclusions, and any other terms and conditions of the policy. 4. Purchase the policy. Once a suitable policy is identified, the organization can purchase the trustees' liability insurance policy. This typically involves completing an application and providing any necessary documentation to the insurance provider. 5. Pay premiums. After the policy is purchased, the organization will be required to pay premiums for the coverage provided. The premiums will depend on the level of coverage, the insurance provider, and other factors such as the organization's claims history. 6. Renew the policy. Trustees' liability insurance policies are typically annual policies that must be renewed each year. This involves reviewing the policy and making any necessary updates or changes, and paying the renewal premium. Overall, the process of setting up a trustees' liability insurance policy involves assessing the organization's needs, shopping around for insurance providers, reviewing policy options, purchasing the policy, paying premiums, and renewing the policy annually. How this policy works. Trustees' liability insurance policies typically provide coverage for claims made against the trustees for alleged wrongful acts, errors, or omissions in the performance of their duties. The policies may cover a range of claims, including breach of fiduciary duty, mismanagement of funds, errors or omissions in investment decisions, and other related issues. When a claim is made against a trustee, the trustee or the organization they represent must notify the insurance company immediately. The insurance company will then appoint an attorney to represent the trustee and investigate the claim. If the claim is covered by the policy, the insurance company will typically pay for the costs of defense, including attorney's fees and court costs. If the claim is settled or a judgment is entered against the trustee, the insurance company may also pay for the settlement or judgment, up to the policy limits. The policy limits vary depending on the specific policy and may be negotiated between the trustee and the insurance company. It is important to note that trustees' liability insurance policies typically have exclusions and limitations, which may vary depending on the policy. Trustees should carefully review the policy to understand what is covered and any limitations or exclusions that may apply. Advantages of trustees' liability insurance to the company, trustees and shareholders and members of the public. There are several advantages of trustees' liability insurance to the company, trustees, and shareholders, as well as members of the public. Here are some of them. 1. Protects the company's assets. Trustees liability insurance can help protect the company's assets in the event of a claim or lawsuit against the trustees. Without insurance, the company may be forced to use its own funds to pay for legal fees and any damages awarded, which could have a significant impact on the company's financial stability. 2. Protects the trustees' personal assets. Trustees liability insurance can also protect the personal assets of the trustees in the event of a claim or lawsuit. Without insurance, the trustees may be personally liable for any damages awarded, which could put their personal assets at risk. 3. Provides peace of mind. Having trustees liability insurance can provide peace of mind to the trustees and the company, knowing that they are protected in the event of a claim or lawsuit. 4. Encourages good governance. Knowing that they have insurance protection can encourage trustees to act in the best interests of the company and its stakeholders, without fear of personal liability. 5. Protects shareholders and members of the public. Trustees liability insurance can also protect shareholders and members of the public by ensuring that the trustees are held accountable for any wrongful acts or omissions, and that they can provide compensation for any damages incurred. Overall, trustees liability insurance can provide important protection and peace of mind to the trustees, the company, shareholders, and members of the public. It can help ensure good governance and responsible decision-making and can provide a safety net in the event of a claim or lawsuit. We trust that you have been enlightened. Please share your comments. Up next, professional indemnity insurance.